With this feeling, I can leave. I'm working and I'm dreaming. Will you dare to give it all up and walk by my side? Do you see?
We're many, we're united, and we're ready. We'll see you on May 20th.
A part of it, just getting me above now. Just getting me above
Never before has the world been so aware of people and organizations trying to usher in a one-world government, where foreign billionaires control everything we do. We have a message for you power-hungry globalists. You overplayed your hand. We see you. We know your plans. And guess what?
We are many. We are united. We are ready. See you May 20th.
On that weekend, the Bilderberg Club are meeting in Lisbon, Portugal for their annual meeting. So we are meeting too. Freedom lovers all over the world will come together in their own country or travel to Lisbon to send a clear message. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. This is unlike any other freedom event we've ever had. It's not a protest, it's a display of collective courage and strength. We are not able to be heard anymore. We don't care what their plans are, because we are ready. In just 3 years, billions of innocent people were put on house arrest, stripped of their human rights, bombarded with repetitive fear propaganda, forced to choose between their job and trial drugs, cancelled, silenced, and bullied for asking questions. Now, in 2023, we're dealing with inflation we can't afford, rising energy prices, climate change propaganda, cancel culture and division, intrusive surveillance, and increasing death rates. You can threaten us as much as you want, but we have this message for you. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. Enough is enough. We are no longer afraid of you and your evil plans. So bring it on. Any group or person can host one of these events in their city. You can also help us spread the word or check to see if there's already an event in your area. Head to www.weareready.world for all the info.
just get me
All right, very good. The system is very odd now. Because now I'm the host, which I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a guest. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm going to play that video again and log out of this account. Technology. Well, you know what? Rosie Convoy's here. Let's her go live. Let's let Rosie Convoy go live. We always go through that. But we just blame Jacinda Ardern anyway whenever something goes wrong.
Oh,
so yeah. Rosie, you take over. I'm gonna bail and log out, so I no longer am the host on my phone. I'm supposed to be a guest.
What?
But I'm glad. Yeah, I
I'm
didn't know how this happened. I'm supposed to be a guest on my own phone, and now it turns out that I'm the host on a computer and a phone. But actually,
well,
now I can hear you. So maybe it's not an issue because I can actually hear you because I couldn't hear the intro, but I can hear you. So okay, I'll leave it.
I can hear
Hey,
you.
Kelowna.
Yeah, I'm on the live right now.
Hello, I'm the Cosmic Threader. I'm on YouTube as well. Feel free to follow me. I interview all kinds of people on. I'm going to interview Rosie on my channel. Follow her channel. Follow my channel. Stay free.
Stay free. So you want me to take over, Jason, or should I create an event that you want to jump on? We can do this.
No. Let's just stick to where we are at the moment. We've got. I just checked the message from StreamYard. I think for the next few hours, three and a half hours at least, we'll stick to this platform, and then I'm going to have to throw over to Restream in the next group. So I'm just going to do a very quick check of our schedule here.
Okay.
All right, so we are now at 5 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is 12 o'clock in British Columbia. We're supposed to have so we've got an hour, about an hour and 10 minutes until Arizona, and then we've got New Brunswick coming in. So yeah, we could do this. Oh, then we've got Peru Lima's actually coming in at 8 o'clock. So we may switch over. I'll have to quickly email people, but let's go through and find out what's happening in Kelowna. Let's do the Kelowna thing.
In Kelowna. Yeah, I don't know how to switch the camera around, so I'll just. It's a pretty good turnout here. It was just a small crowd at noon for when the event starts, but it was awesome. There a few vehicles drove by, all decked out with Canadian flags, and they drove past our city hall a couple of times. There's our city hall behind us, and here's the crowd. Oops, yeah. So yeah, there's I'd probably say maybe 50 people here, and I'm hoping more people show up. But it's a gorgeous day here in Kelowna, British Columbia, and I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this. We are many. We are united.
Want to try mic checking?
We are ready. Mic check. Check one. Check one.
I think
all right.
So.
We're going to be singing.
I think your mic's working all right.
I think somebody mentioned that we're going to do the Canadian anthem here pretty quick. So looking forward to that because, I mean, it is a good song. It's a great song. So we're downtown Kelowna at our city hall on Water Street. There's a Stewart Park here behind me. Really nice sculpture. I love that sculpture. And yeah, I can take you guys down to the lake.
Yeah, let's go down to the lake. While you're walking down to the lake, let me just explain to a couple of people here. Yes, the audience. My computer had a meltdown. The live stream must have just burnt it out or something. It looked like it overheated. But anyway, it always well. Anyway, I was pushing it to the limit with doing. So far, I've been live for 17 hours. So. 13,
Too much
13.
truth, Jason. Too much truth coming out.
Yeah, wow, that too. But yeah, the system had a meltdown. So what I did was I unplugged it and I put the fan at the back of it. Like I've got a fan here. I got a fan, so I just put the fan in the back of it, and I went into the kitchen, messed around in there for a while, gave it about 10 minutes, came back, turned it on, and bada boom, bada bing, we're back on. But I had to abandon the last live. Yep. I had to, Morena Cheryl, I had to abandon the last live and delete it. And so we're technically in live number 4, which is technically number 3. So I'm going to have to make a new live number 4. And I'm going to have to use Restream to do that. That means I've got to go through and contact everybody and give them a new studio link.
Not confusing at all.
Or not confusing at all, no. Not confusing at all.
None, no confusion whatsoever.
No,
So apparently,
it'll only be the third link that they've got for a new studio link.
so this is I couldn't think of a better place to have this this event. It's
That is a big bear.
it is a big bear.
That is definitely a big bear. That is a Canadian bear. Is it a brown bear or a black bear?
I think it's a polar bear.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Well, it's technically a blue bear, but yeah, as you can see here, it's just like a small-ish crowd right now. But it was only a few people at first, and more people are showing up here. Can you see them all right?
Yes, I can. I'm quite interested in your coast. It really looks like Auckland. Turn around, do a U-turn, and let me look at all those boats.
Yeah, this is the Kelowna Yacht Club.
Yeah, that is what Auckland looks like. Yep.
Oh. Yeah, so and then this area here becomes a skating rink in the wintertime.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's all lit up with Christmas lights and everything.
That is awesome. So what they put water on it and then because it's going to naturally freeze, isn't it?
Yep. Oh yeah, there we go. Got us a truck going by with the flag honking. It's awesome.
The honkies are honking.
There's a bit of a convoy going by when I got here a few minutes after I got here. Like I said, it was a little convoy that went by honking all the Canadian flags and everything. Full unfurling. It rained this morning, so I'm grateful for that because it's kept the temperature down. We've had a heat wave here, and I don't do well in the mid 30 degrees Celsius. But we got the police helicopter flying over, making sure we're not being unruly. But yeah, there's our city hall and the crowd.
Awesome. That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Brilliant. Well, actually, there's a lot more people than actually looks like. Once you get down into it. There's a lot more people than it looks, actually, once you get down into it. So we are ready. Is there? There you go. We are ready. So they are definitely the We Are Ready crowd.
We are many. We are united. We are ready.
And my computer is spazzy again. It's just on the same thing, but at least we're live. But it turns out now that I'm actually a host on the phone, because normally I'm not a host. I've got all the host functions here. So I guess for this round, for this round, we're not actually streaming anything. We're like literally talking to people this time. There's no streams to come on, so I think I'll just live with it.
It's all that you speak, Jason. It's all that.
So, you know.
It makes your it's like information overload.
It's like I'm so truthful that they just have to turn me off. Well, for the first time, I stand up because I want to just turn my little light on. The computer's having a spaz attack, but at least my light doesn't have to have a spaz attack. There you go. I'll just leave the computer off. That's okay. We're not doing any sharing at this point. Everybody that's coming on right now are actually physically talking to us. So we don't have anything to stream at the moment. So that's good. I'll just let the computer have a little rest. And we'll hang out with Rosie in Kelowna. Not the Corona.
Right? Oh, that was a bit of a joke when it all came out. Hey, freedom.
Freedom. Entertainers for freedom. We just started this morning. I'm inviting Rosie to be part of Entertainers for Freedom. She's an entertainer. I'm an entertainer. I'm the Cosmic Threader. You can follow my show, Gong Show Tarot, live to tape, where I interview regular people like you and me and artists. The next person I'm going to have on the show is he's a guy in Toronto named Paul Hutcherman. Hutcherson. Hutch. I just call him Hutch.
Hutch.
Check out the show, Gong Show Tarot, live to tape. If you'd like to be a guest, You can follow me on Instagram at cosmic_threader. Just send me a message and I'll get you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is super talented. I really like Kelownians.
Yeah, that's I can't get over the incredible concentration going on there, talking and juggling at the same time. It's just like mind blown.
And promoting his channel as well. You know,
I
not
know.
only is he talking, he's juggling, talking, and marketing at the same time.
Yeah, what can you say? Canadians, we're good at multitasking when we have to.
Awesome. We've got some comments here. You probably can't see it, but I can. For some reason, God turned my phone into a host. For some reason, I guess he knew that my computer was being troublesome. So we got some comments here. We've got, let's go back. Okay, so we got Josie, who's been on like the whole weekend. Josie just rejoined. Hello from Ontario. She's still in Ontario. April's back. Thank you, April. Sorry about the mishap earlier on. I think my computer is having a hissy fit, so I'm just going to leave it for a little while. I don't need it while I'm talking to people. Yeah, Josie's back. And Cheryl Anderson says Morena, so therefore Cheryl's from New Zealand. Because
Kia
only New Zealanders. Yeah. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Yeah, you're getting that accent down pretty good.
I've heard it quite a few times now. There was a guy part of I saw quite often out in Ontario. He's from Australia. We call him Aussie. And he was part of the original convoy. So every time I saw him, I'd go Kia ora, and he'd say it back, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. So yeah, we're just learning from each other as we go, and just doing what we do best, showing unity, showing love, appreciating our freedoms that we have, and continuing the fight for them. That's very important that we all stick together on a global scale now. So thank you, Jason, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
We've never been on a show together before.
No. And I mean, honestly, if the cosmic_threader, if he can plug a show, then anybody watching, check out my channel, Rosie Convoy, on YouTube, and you will see this guy sitting beside me in in a few of the shows. Actually, most of the shows.
What's it called, Rosie? Well, all of the shows. When it comes to not all, but most of them. Yeah.
I did a couple of lives by myself. Like I did a live from the Shelburne Rally in Ontario, and of course I went live in Port Hope, Ontario, for the 1-year anniversary of the convoy coming through. There was a couple of hundred people there, and we all just all stood up on one of the overpasses, like what happened a year ago, and we all had our Canadian flags. I of course brought along my New Zealand flag, because I like to represent the Kiwis. So yeah, we just hung out, and there was hot dogs and cake and water and coffee and tea, and yeah, it was a couple of hours. We all just hung out, and that was the 1-year anniversary. So I've only done a couple of videos that don't include you, Jason. So those would be the ones I'm talking about. But most of them, yeah, Between Two Flags, our show, which means a lot to me. What
is it? At Rosie Convoy, is it 264? At Rosie Convoy 264, is that it?
Oh man, 4765. I don't know. I should have it, but it's just so easy to just drop the links here and there. So yeah, maybe I should start memorizing. We should start memorizing each other's phone numbers too, just in case there comes a day that suddenly like we can't use our Facebook for whatever reason. I don't know.
Or our
considering
computer.
things are going in Canada, all the censorship that's starting to creep in. We got the Bill C-11 that just passed, making it harder for any of us on YouTube. Yeah, it just gets swallowed by the algorithm. If we post something and it's not viewed often and quickly, it gets completely swallowed by the algorithm, thanks to the new bill that Trudeau's Liberals just passed. So yeah.
Actually, I want to.
But I'm not
I
afraid.
want to. I want to talk about that actually. I've had to turn my computer off, so I'm in a little bit. I'm in the darkness at the moment. I don't, if you can't tell, I
Yeah, I
might
can
just
see that.
turn I might just turn the big light on for a while. I need to give this computer a very good strong rest, so I'll go and turn the main light on. So I want to talk to you about this Bill C-11. Now I did a bit of research on it, and the dog whistle is that they keep saying that it's got nothing to do with content creators. That it's supposed to be targeted. It's supposed to be targeted at the mainstream, like Netflix and stuff like that, to force them to make content. And I have heard that a lot of people are sort of complaining about that that's not actually the case. That there are some sub clauses or something like that hidden deep in the bill itself that eventually does relate to content creators. So what's the dealio on that?
Well, I know from what I've found out that yeah, anyone like me, I've got a small YouTube channel. I've only got like 300 and some subscribers, and as soon as I post a video, if it just gets completely swallowed, it doesn't even show up as an option for people to click on it. So you have to kind of dig and you have to search around and try to find. And honestly, I've noticed too that a lot of people will become unsubscribed to certain channels. So you have to kind of go back and take a look at that and resubscribe, because YouTube now will just kick people off of your channel. So I'll post a video and I'll share it around like crazy, and I'll get like a few people seeing it and a few likes here and there, but it's not like it used to be. Like before, it would show up again as an option to view, and now it's just yeah, because it's being censored now straight from the broadcasting background. Like it has to go through Trudeau's censorship. It has to be like in compliance with their rules of what they consider, relative and good content, which of course is completely objective. So yeah, if they don't like what you're saying, they'll disappear.
Is this like what we found out in New Zealand, that Ardern had her hand in the Facebook? Yeah, I guess it was Facebook's hand, or she was doing the same thing in Facebook. Like they had a backdoor. I guess it was intelligence, New Zealand intelligence, probably Five Eyes actually, because probably Americans, because New Zealanders are not allowed to spy on themselves, but they're allowed to spy on Americans, and Americans are allowed to spy on New Zealanders, and they just exchange information at the office, at the international global office, probably on a boat somewhere in the middle of the ocean in international waters, passing files to each other,
Yeah. So that's kind of just one of the things that we've got going on now. There's they're trying to push out the digital currency now too, and they're trying to, there was a survey that I went and I filled out, just kind of saying like, no, I won't comply with it. Cash is king, and we'd like to keep on having the option of using cash. But the fact that they have a survey out now trying to get the public opinion on how they feel about rolling out a Bank of Canada digital currency, it means it's definitely on the horizon, and it's cause for concern. So that's just another one. And then there's a few guys that are political prisoners here in Canada. The four guys that were part of the Coutts blockade in Alberta, they've been in jail for over a year now with no bail or anything. Family members can't visit them. So there's a whole campaign trying to raise awareness, but of course it's getting, shadow banned and getting squashed. And so yeah, that's another cause for concern. And then
can I ask a question about Coutts? Was it okay? So I remember when the convoy started. I remember when the convoy started, and then this thing, and the thing. I think your brother was in one of them, wasn't he? In a blockade, wasn't he?
Yeah. Yep. My
Yeah.
one of my
But
brothers is very proud to say he held the line in Alberta, but it's
okay,
it's
that
one of
was
the
Alberta. That's not
yeah
Coots.
yeah Coots is just north of the border, just above the states, Montana, I think, but it's one of the
Ah,
biggest areas where the long haul truckers go through with their goods. It's one of the biggest ports where and so it just seemed strategically smart to have a group of truckers there. So yeah, they held the line there for quite a long time before given the order, because of course now in Canada they changed the definition of violence to include like economic tragedy. So if the government's losing a lot of money because of a blockade, now it's considered violence because it's economic. Now they've changed the definition to include like any kind of hardship when it comes to like finances here in Canada. So yeah, the cops went in, and it was a completely peaceful protest. The the horseback, the Freedom horse riders. There was a whole
yes,
about 50 or so cowboys and cowgirls
yeah,
got
there
on
were,
their
yeah,
horses, and they flew the Canadian flag, and they actually like convoyed with their horses.
yeah,
It was a rather large event. There was a whole bunch of donations that went in there. People were getting fed. I mean, my brother who was down there, I asked him if he was eating all right, and he said, well, somebody had just donated a whole bunch of steaks, and so he had like a steak with Caesar salad, and he said he was eating quite well because of the donations, because the gratitude that Canadians had for everyone who was a part of the original convoy, including the Coots guys. So right near the end of it, when the cops came and shut it down, they actually went in and sabotaged quite a lot of the machinery, like because there were farmers that were part of it too with their farming equipment. So those machines are still sitting in a field because it'll cost way too much to have the parts replaced. And yeah, 4 guys. Well, that was how they broke it up, because there was a semi truck with weapons that went missing from Ontario. So
oh,
I messaged my brother one morning and I said, like, how's it going down there? He said, we're packing up, we gotta go. And I'm like, what's happening? He said, well, there's a truck full of weapons that's gone missing from Ontario, and we figure it's probably headed this way. And that's exactly what happened. So now they were all packed up, they were all leaving, and suddenly this truck with weapons, like with rifles and everything, showed up, and the news media was like, oh yeah, Coots blockade, weapons found. It was all planted. It was all deliberate
yeah,
to smear
yeah.
what happened there. And 4 guys were charged with conspiracy to murder police officers, even though they don't have a criminal record. So they're still in jail. It's been over 400 days that they've been sitting in jail, and there's no bail or anything. And you know, we're still trying to raise awareness of the Canadian political prisoners that are being held here in Canada. So
I didn't know about the weapons side of it. I didn't know about that, but yeah, what a classic move, huh?
right?
Yeah, what a
I
classic
mean,
move. And of course the media is right there, ready to take the.
oh, they
Suddenly
were,
the media turns up and is, oh look, they've got weapons, and of course
yeah,
the truck comes in from out of town. People know it's coming. They're getting out of
yep,
there because they know it's a setup.
yep.
And,
And it was
and boom.
completely peaceful too. Like the protesters and the police officers, they all lined up. They did like how baseball teams, they all lined up and shook each other's hands. They were singing Amazing Grace. They were singing Oh Canada. They all met, like, or they said goodbye on very, very good terms. And then right after they left, it was oh well, suddenly this truck showed up. And it's really funny too, because the media, they didn't even get the city right. They originally had posted that it happened in Grand Prairie, which is way up north. Like Grand Prairie is way up north, so they got the city wrong. So they quickly corrected it and said, "Oh, it was found at Coots." So it's just like, yeah.
And no doubt. I mean, the story was already pre-cooked anyway, pre-baked.
Oh yeah.
Ready to go. Just give a couple of names, and then it was ready. It was probably already written a week before the event even happened. Because and there's been a lot of that in the news. There's been a lot of articles that have come out like a week before the event. I have noticed that over the years. That's popped up quite a few times. That an article has come out a week before, like even the George Floyd, the whole George Floyd thing, and it was even on Obama's Twitter. I guess it was a Twitter account. Obama's Twitter account, mourning George Floyd. And it was like 2 or 3 weeks before he actually kicked the bucket. This is the face of America, and George Floyd, and actually, and people screenshot, and it was like, well, you didn't even know who George Floyd was, and you're already promoting that the face of George Floyd, and now he's become a thing. It's just like, oh.
I think that's one of the most infuriating things, is that they really don't think we're very smart.
Well, a lot of people aren't very smart.
And we are. We're brilliant. We're very resourceful. I mean, just seeing what happened in New Zealand with the convoy there, they shut down the Portaloos. So what happened in New Zealand? They built their own bathrooms, and they tapped right into the public sewage system. So didn't take long. They figured out how to do that. But I mean, it makes sense that they wanted to say that, oh, like these dirty, nasty, stinky, what they call them, the river of filth.
Yeah.
So yeah, they tried to set them up, and you'd think that they would just like let them use the portaloos. We call them porta potties here in Canada. But yeah, it's just they really don't think we're very smart, and I'm happy to say that they have no idea that they're underestimating us, because we are, many. We are united. We are ready. And the more we get together and network, and like even today, I mean, I've spent the last year in Ontario, but now I'm back in my hometown, and I'm going around, I'm meeting people for the first time, passing on information. Now we're going to be able to like communicate more. We're going to be able to organize, or I'll be part of the, apparently next Saturday is the big event here in Kelowna. They do it the first Saturday of every month. So I'll be coming out for that next week, and might just go live on Rosie Convoy. So yeah, it's important that we all reach out to each other. There's going to be people that you might not necessarily get along with, but in the bigger picture, the more we stick together, it just drives the globalists, and it drives all the young world leaders. It just drives them absolutely bonkers. And I just love that idea. I just love how angry and upset they all got, because we all stood up together last year. We just said enough is enough, and we haven't stopped, right? We've slowed down, but I think
that's the big kicker. That's the big kicker. We've actually expanded, even though like the whole thing with like it was one united stand, and like it was mass crowds, but those crowds have dissipated, but they've formed solid smaller communities around the world. And that's where the strength is. The strength is in those, and that's what Monica keeps saying as well. And I totally agree with her. You don't. I think the day of the convoy was fantastic, and it was wonderful, but it really had a motivating factor, and it was really organic. And I think a lot of people everywhere in the world have tried to recreate it, both in New Zealand and Canada, have tried to recreate it. But it was just, to me, it's like right time, right place, right mission.
Yep. And then what? It's not a bad thing too to take a break. I mean, I've really noticed that while I was out in Ontario. The people that hold the line right in Ottawa, it can get tiring. It's exhausting, because Well, the police harass them all the time, for the strangest things. There was like in the wintertime, they weren't allowed to plant their flags in the snowbanks, and they're not allowed to bring lawn chairs to sit on. And it's just, yeah, everybody's getting tired, and it's not a bad thing to take a break, because even soldiers go on leave.
Oh yeah, they
So
have to. But
take a
what's
break.
this? What's this about? Not what they can't put their flag in a snowbank?
Yeah, and you can't carry a hockey stick or any kind of sporting equipment, because that was one thing that we Canadians did. We attached a Canadian flag to a hockey stick or a lacrosse stick, and you can't go up onto Parliament Hill if you got a Canadian flag attached to any kind of sporting equipment. So, but you can walk in there with an umbrella. Like, I had no problem with my umbrella going up onto Parliament Hill, but anybody who's got any kind of sporting equipment, they're not allowed up onto Parliament Hill. So they'll get stopped by the parliamentary police there, and either somebody has to hang on to it for you, who's outside of the gate there. But yeah, that's they were considering it like litter. So if the Canadian flag was stuck into the snowbank, the cops were trying to call it litter. So you had to just hang on to all your stuff. But the fact that you couldn't even bring a lawn chair and sit on the lawn, even though other people could. But it was the Freedom community is definitely getting targeted by the OPP and the parliamentary police officers up on the hill. And that's another thing. Like, don't even get me started on just how many cops just sat in their vehicles and idled, and yet, we're supposed to be all concerned about emissions and carbon footprints and
it's rules for me and not for thee. The cops can sit there and do what they like. They can sit there and do what they like, because it's in the name of law and order. I'm just bending down here as my computer's still having a spaz attack, so I'm just gonna pull that out for a while. Just leave it off. So yeah, it's rules for me and not for thee. No, that's what that's all about. Now, going back to the hockey stick thing. That young fella, there was the situation. The young fella, and this is in the most recent. I don't know. I guess it wasn't during the convoy. It was post convoy. It was not that long ago. The young guy, he's become pretty famous, and he was arrested for a flag and was that the young fellow with a flag and a hockey stick? And I saw a story just maybe the other day, 2 or 3 days ago, that he was arrested again. Is it?
Are you talking about Josh Alexander, the young guy from Ontario?
The young guy, like the 16-year-old?
Yeah. Yeah, that was talk about selective harassment. Yeah, they follow him around now. As soon as he shows up to anything, the cops are all over him. They just crawl all over him like so many little fleas. And it's definitely targeted discrimination.
That's like gang stalking.
Well, exactly. And like he won't even have done anything wrong. Like I think it was last week or the week before, he all he did was try to go up onto Parliament Hill, and see, he's got a brother that looks a lot like him, and his brother was also arrested, and there was like 100-day ban that he wasn't allowed to go on Parliament Hill, but the 100 days had passed, and now Josh went up, tried to go on the hill. The cops mistook him for his brother, and let him out of there, even though the 100 days had passed, and it was his brother who had the ban on him. It wasn't Josh at all, but they just don't care. Like it's just like they don't care about upholding the law. They're just told to, and I think they're getting really, really tired. Like they're just the cops are getting grouchy. They need to eat something. They're getting hangry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're getting grouchy. They're getting grouchy. It's a real pity I can't turn on my computer because we've got, I think it's Peru. No, they're coming in at
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
What time
I
is it?
can't look.
It's
I
a
can't
few
look at
minutes
my.
before 8 for you.
It's almost 3 o'clock in the. Well, it's 3 o'clock for me, so technically 5 a.m. 6 a.m. AEST. This is a real problem.
So Jason, I just want to
This has
show
never
you.
happened before. My sister. Oh, hello. We are ready. Did you paint that on?
I did. I painted it on with white acrylic paint last night, and then I met this really nice lady today. She made her own T-shirt too. Hey, globalists, we are many, we are united, and we are ready. Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, well, the ladies from Dunedin did that as well. I noticed that they made their own T-shirts as well.
I think it's
why
great.
not? Yeah, why
Right?
not? I mean, there was not enough time to actually order them from. I don't know where they were coming from, Australia or something like that.
Too, but I copied the lettering from the T-shirts on the website. And yeah, it was supposed to be raining today, and I'm kind of glad I painted it on this tank top because it is warm today. It's toasty. It's actually classic Okanagan Valley weather. It's a really beautiful place to live. We've got we're famous for our orchards and our vineyards. And in the wintertime, there's skiing, and of course, you guys saw the lake behind me, Okanagan Lake. Okanagan meaning place of water, in case you didn't know, and the word Kelowna.
That's an indigenous word, Okanagan.
Yeah, Okanagan meaning place of water, and Kelowna means grizzly bear.
Oh, Kelowna means grizzly bear. That's why there's a big bear. Well, it's not a polar bear then. It's a grizzly bear.
I guess so. Actually, now that we just talked about it, yeah, it's got to be a. Where is it back there? Yeah, it's a. I guess it is a grizzly bear. I guess it makes perfect sense. We have a sculpture downtown that's got like a mother and her cubs, and it kind of talks about the where the name Kelowna originated from. But yeah, no, this is I'll just turn the camera around. You can still see the crowd. Oh, we're gonna sing the national anthem now.
Okay, let's see it. Let's do it. I'm gonna put you onto a big screen so you can sing the national anthem with your
Our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Subscribe to these guys' channels.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Freedom! Freedom! Forever! Freedom!
Justice!
I always get the goosebumps though. Fantastic! Yeah! Freedom! Oh, that's just great.
That was very
in goosebumps.
that was a great melody.
I like the F Trudeau in the middle of it. Gotta be honest.
I've never heard that version before. Yeah, I've never heard that version before. So yeah, that was very creative.
I'm Rosie Convoy.
I am Pete.
Nice to meet you, Pete. I'm just live right now. The international live stream going on right now from the We Are United or We Are Ready website. So yeah, it's nice to be a part of this today. No, well, I might be. I could be soon. I just got back like a few weeks ago, but yeah, just I am from Kelowna originally, yeah. But I spent the last year out in Ontario going to the rallies and spending a lot of time on Parliament Hill, heckling the. Yeah. All right. So thanks, guys. Glad you guys got to be a part of that. It is
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. So all of those people that came to the We Are Ready, I don't know. I don't know if you spoke to them before you came on, but did any of them attend any of past events? Like, like we've had different things over the year, but I don't know what has Kelowna done? Because Kelowna had their own convoy. They did have they had a jam up, didn't they? They had a traffic jam convoy.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that was January 29th. It was entire downtown core was completely gridlocked in both directions. And that was the day I woke up. It was actually pretty exciting for me because the night before, my friend here in town, she phoned me up and asked what I was doing that day. It was Saturday, January 29th, and I didn't have any plans. And she said, do you want to go downtown? We're going to support the truckers. Now, I'd only kind of heard about a convoy headed to Ottawa. I had no idea what was in store for me. So when we got downtown, there were hundreds and hundreds of people and hundreds of vehicles, and this entire street, everything, all the way around, all the in-between streets, Bernard, completely gridlocked in both directions. And of course, all these lawns, everything, the sidewalks, just jam-packed with smiling Canadians and more Canadian flags that I had ever seen, even on a Canada Day celebration here. So I was just completely blown away. And of course, they talk about the love and the unity that everybody was feeling. Anybody who was a part of the freedom movement, anybody like from what we were seeing in Ottawa, it was just like just a little bit of a taste of what we were all experiencing. So it just to be a part of that. And of course, I went home that night and tried to find some kind of a news article or some kind of a news on how incredible the day was. And just couldn't find any good stories because, of course, the mainstream media had already started their smear campaign. Trudeau had already called the truckers misogynists, anti-science, racists. So that was the narrative. So I looked for any kind of a story on what I had experienced because I had never seen anything like that in my hometown. And all I could find were the negative comments and the negative the articles, and that was what woke me up, because I had to ask myself, why would they lie? And then it was like, oh, why would they lie? And it was just like, that was it. I felt the ground underneath me open up, and I've been making up for lost time ever since. Because I followed the narrative. I got double jabbed.
When did he make the comment? When did he make the comment about being a fringe minority?
That was on January 26th or so. It was before the truckers got to Ottawa. That was when they left British Columbia and they were headed east. And they were just picking up more and more people. And there were so many hundreds of supporters on the overpasses. And the support, the Canadians, we were done. We fed up. We showed up in numbers. I've heard that the every single overpass was just packed with Canadians. And so that was so of course that's what we had to. He had to call us a small fringe minority, even though just looking around, it was like the videos that have come out of Canada. Honestly, it's just I really wish I'd been able to go to the original convoy, but it's it's like 4,000 kilometers from where I am right now. Ottawa's like a 3-day drive, 4-day drive from where I am, so I couldn't be a part of the convoy. They already got there, but so all I could do was just like latch onto as many live streams coming out of Ottawa that I could. And of course, New Zealand started their convoy 6 days after Canadians. And so, yeah, I was lucky enough to see that pop up on my Facebook feed. Being a big Lord of the Rings nerd, always wanted to go to New Zealand to see where my favorite movies are filmed. And just became part of the convoy, and that's how I met you, Jason. You had the Facebook group, NZ Freedom Convoy 2022. Or is it NZ Convoy 2022 Freedom?
NZ Truckers Convoy 2022 hyphen freedom.
NZ
Hyphen
Truckers.
freedom.
Yes. Yeah. So you had started that Facebook group, and I was also following the South Convoy, New Zealand Convoy 2022 group. But I don't know. I liked your style. So you made me admin, and I kept the spam out. I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours deleting each spam individually.
Yeah, we're totally chasing the spam.
Oh, it got pretty sketchy a couple of times too. You got right. And we graduated through the pornographic spam there for a couple of days, and that was interesting. So
yeah,
so
my thing was the t-shirts, the fake t-shirts from Sri Lanka. I think they were from Sri Lanka, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, and of course the Facebook has banned our group. Join this Telegram chat, blah blah blah. So anything that had a Telegram link was like, just delete them. But then, of course, you get to see the comments and the conversations people have. And now, I'm very proud to say that I've got friends in New Zealand, because it always ends up being like more or less the same people who will comment, who post, like that are super active, and you see them in the chat. And so now, if I ever when I get to New Zealand, I'll be able to like just meet these people that have been friends now for a year. So that's another amazing thing about the freedom movement is the friends we've made. Like they're not in our neighborhoods. They're global. Like they're all over the world now. You just got to reach out.
We're very. I today this morning I got some free accommodation in Madura, Australia, and well, Ben didn't actually offer me any free accommodation in Melbourne, but I can get it if I think hard enough. I can still get it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, the global unity that that we all woke up around the same time. I mean, some people, I guess, technically they knew the whole thing was a plan from the beginning, but no, it's been absolutely incredible. The people I've met on the road and the people I continue to meet every single day. It's just it's a beautiful thing, and that's what I love about this that We Are United event is it just goes to that we are ready. We are united. We are many. Yeah, it's really amazing because that's what's going to drive them. It's driving them crazy that that we know each other. We're getting to know each other. We got a long road ahead of us, but there's no reason why we can't just keep in touch and lend support to each other. And it's glorious. It's like a little piece of heaven, and we're all fighting on the team of the angels, so to speak.
Yeah, that's right.
Can't think of anything more important, honestly. And
not Hell's Angels either.
Yes. Although I'm sure that there's a few of them in our crowd.
Yeah.
But no, it's an honor to be a part of this, and it's an honor. It's an honor and a privilege to have woken up when the truckers got to Ottawa. When I think of where I would be now if that hadn't happened, I probably would have had my third or fourth booster by now. And I don't know. It was like it was miraculous. It was miraculous what happened, because there were 23 different countries around the world that all had convoys. Like, they planned convoys like right after. And now that I'm, it's just seeing what there's a spider on me. Spider, be gone. Just seeing what the Dutch farmers. That's why I've got my farmer flag. I wear it on my wrist. The handkerchief, there's I saw them wearing them around their necks and around their wrists as a kind of a way to recognize each other. So this is supporting the farmers in the Netherlands, and of course the farmers here in Canada, because they're facing the same thing. There's the 2030 agenda. They want to reduce the same kind of fertilizers and everything, even though it's they've spent how many hundreds of years developing farming their lands, and they've got it down to like a almost exact science. And it's important that we speak for our farmers, because from what I understand, the anal Schwab has promised food shortages. So yeah, we have to keep ourselves educated. It's good to take a break and rest if you become tired. There's nothing wrong with a soldier going on leave. But once you've recuperated, come back in. As one of my friends in New Zealand, David Hosking, always says, this is a marathon. It's not a race. And ain't that the truth? They've had decades now where they've been rolling out this plan, and
they've got tons of cash to do it as well.
Yeah, limitless funds to do it. So it is definitely like a David and Goliath scenario.
Yeah,
absolutely. But we all know how that ended. And
yeah, we know how that ended.
So yeah, it's I'm just so happy to be a part of this, and to know you, Jason. You're doing a great job. I'm very proud of you. This you must be exhausted by now, because you're doing what is it, like 30 hours straight?
Yeah, it's been. I'm just trying to get myself. Oh, there we go. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you had a lot to say, because while you were chatting away and I was listening to you, I was able to get the computer back up and running and able to send the email over to Alaska for the restream. They're coming on. They're supposed to be coming on in 19 minutes time at 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is in 19 minutes from now. So I was able to get that out to them. Hopefully, this will stay this way. Hopefully, it's very rare, a very rare situation. Although it's not the first time, but I think a couple of times I took it to the shop, and when I got it to the shop, the guy turned it on and it was working fine. And yet at home, I click, 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 unplug everything and plug it all back in and click, 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 click. And it's just weird. It's just weird. It's happened this is the third time it's happened.
You've got your very own government satellite following you specifically.
Yeah, sometimes I can hear it.
Or we just keep blaming Jacinda.
It's a drone. No, it's a drone called Jacinda.
Yeah. Blame Trudeau, blame Jacinda, blame Macron. Well, I guess it's Hipkins now in New Zealand, but it's I'm very, very proud of you though, and I'm glad, honestly. I didn't mind rambling on. I'm just so happy. I get so excited and so positive, and I feel so great when I'm with my people, like freedom fighters. So whether it's online or in a crowd, it's a little taste again of the kind of unity that we felt during the brunt of it, during like the most jam-packed, when we were just coming out of all the lockdowns and everything. Just the incredible feeling of unity. I still feel it when I'm with my freedom fighters. I still feel it. It feels good. Highly recommend, you guys. Oh, and by the way, I may as well say this right now. If you haven't liked the video already, please give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to State of the Nation, New Zealand State of the Nation, please subscribe. And hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications. And by all means, do the same for Rosie Convoy. So you get a chance to see me and Jason when we do our thing on the Between Two Flags show.
When we do the Between Two Flags. Yeah, keep an eye out for Between Two Flags. We do it pretty regularly at the moment. Things are just a bit busy, but we're slowly getting back into it. And but yeah, we've been doing it. We've done quite a few interviews. I started with State of the Nation last year, and now and then we started Between Two Flags, and then I started a couple of years ago. I started with the Statistical Giants. And I was going to call it the Giant Testicles. That was actually how I got the Statistical Giants, because the original name of it was going to be the Giant. The Giant Testicles. And I thought that might not rub off very well, so I changed the name to the Statistical Giants. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Well, I like our show. I like our show Between Two Flags because we try to get a Canadian and a New Zealander on. So I like to point out, or we like to point out, the similarities between our fights, because I think it's important that we know that we got each other's backs and that we're not alone in this. Because whatever they're doing to us here, they're doing in all the countries, you know.
Oh yeah.
So we're not alone. You know, there's so many, and that was another really interesting thing that I noticed about the convoy in Ottawa is it's like seeing something echo. So everything that they were doing to the Canadian truckers, a few days later they'd be doing to the New Zealanders, like the Kiwis in Wellington. So it was like an echo. So that I thought was really interesting. So I mean, it's obvious that the same playbook is being used. It's obvious that they've got the same agenda, and it became incredibly so easy to see. The Canadian truckers, day 23, they were pushed out. The Kiwis in Wellington, day 23, they got pushed out. And Trudeau going out there saying, "Oh, do we tolerate these people?" Ardern comes out and she says, "Oh, it's a river of filth." It was the exact same thing. The media playing their part in the propaganda of it all, and smearing what was a peaceful protest, smearing it as far right, extremists, Nazis, and it's just all the same. It's the same poop on a different pile. So that's the whole point of the Between Two Flags show. Is we like to point out the similarities between our fights, because it's important we don't feel alone in these times.
Yes. I have that problem all the time because I'm in Vietnam, and actually we didn't have anybody here. I don't have any movement here in Vietnam. I'm alone. I'm completely alone. I don't even have any freedom fighters in Vietnam. I don't have any freedom fighters. Well, I have a mate who's a bit he's a bit turned on. I mean, he's a bit awake, but I would say he spends all of his time sending me old songs on YouTube, and then he'll call me up and start talking about different conspiracy stuff, and
Hey,
he's a bit onto it, but he's not like a freedom fighter per se,
Hey, Jason, I would say you're by yourself, but you're not alone.
Yeah, it has to. I have to have something. That's why I do it online, because I can't be there personally. So this is what I do. So I do it all online, and now we've got the school holidays, so I'm able to do this. And there is talk of this type kind of event, the small event happening often, and like Dwayne Dunedin was doing it today, like barbecue, get together, chill out, not really protest, like those marches in Germany and The Hague and Netherlands. They were pretty cool. They were pretty cool.
It means a lot to me personally. To see the Canadian flag flying in Germany, and to see the Canadian flag. Like I've seen photos sent to me from New Zealand, from Taronga. Is that how I pronounce it?
Tauranga,
Did
yeah.
I Taronga? Yeah, to know that the Canadian flag was being flown there, it just means a lot to me. Like to me personally, but like I'm like I've told a few people here in Canada like that was a thing, that the Germans, like they Deutschland über alles, they flew the Canadian flag, and so did the Kiwis, and it's just amazing. Just the world unity that we can feel if we tap into it, if we just like open our hearts and our minds and we tap into it. It's just amazing. There's nothing we can't do when we have each other's backs. So yeah, I wish I could bottle this feeling. I really could. It'd make make an absolute gold mine worth of
It'd make a lovely drink.
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? Just a big old sip of Canadian hope and unity, and even just global, the hope for the world, because yeah, it is. The times are tough. Times are dark. Inflation is up. Gas prices are up, and that's everywhere. A lot of people. It is hard. It is hard to keep the hope alive. But yeah, if you can get to a rally near you, you'll I don't know, your cup overflows. Because even just like I walked around here with the camera, or my phone, and I didn't even really talk to very many people, but just the vibes coming off of all these lovely people with all the good intentions. And that's another thing too. Like we don't have anything to gain from this. We get ridiculed, we get called names, we get, there's they're trying to shut us down on every level. The city of Kelowna here. They're actually even trying to appeal to the Supreme Court to have freedom rallies, made illegal. And I mean, come on. Those who are awake, they we gotta keep it going, keep the hope alive, because in the end, it's that's the vibration that we gotta raise. We can't fight amongst each other. We can't fight. We just stick together. And just remember, to anybody who's maybe feeling that the freedom community, wherever you are, there's a lot of infighting. The more we fight each other, the more our leaders laugh. So
yeah, that's got to stop. That's really got to stop. That has to stop. Otherwise, we're not going to get anywhere. That's why I don't entertain it. I don't entertain it. I know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of opinions about certain people. But I look at the big picture. What are the people contributing? Are they doing something big, or are they just moping around, complaining about other people? Are they actually doing anything? Are they doing something substantial? Yeah. I mean, most of the people that get complained about are doing kind of big things, big things. And I was talking to that guy, John Wilson, today from Frankston. I think it was Frankston. From Frankston. And he's ex radio personality from Australia, and he's got all the equipment, so he does broadcasts and stuff, right? And so he actually hires himself out to go and speak at rallies and that sort of thing, And I said to him, I said, well, people have to come to the understanding that essentially, in a way, you've got to commercialize your job as a freedom fighter. In the sense that not everybody sits at home on a social welfare getting a government check and then goes out to protest against the government. Some people, especially industry professionals, producers, editors, media content creators, they have families. They need to get fed. So, they give as much as they can in their own free time, but that's not going to propel a system. It's not going to propel a movement very far. It's just a snail's pace. So the whole thing about sort of getting off the whole level of just complaining and whining, and getting into like a professional system where we want to get to eventually, proper, and have sponsors, that sort of thing. And the people who are not doing that sort of thing, which is like, oh, they're grifting, oh, they're getting, well, you know what? People have to live. End of story. And we're not all on social welfare. You know, we
Yeah.
do have jobs, we do have families. Now, if we're going to do that, if we're going to work on it full time, and we're going to move a system, then we have to replace our income if we're going to work on it full time. End of story. We're not going on the dole. Right? We weren't on the dole in the beginning. We're not going on the dole at the end. So there has to be some reward and benefit to, it's callous, I know, but at the same time, it's the reality. It's the reality. I mean, do you think Sister Teresa, right? Do you think she did everything for free? No, she was. She was the really worst extreme case. I mean, I think she died a billionaire at the end of the day and a child trafficker. But you get my point. You know, these people don't do anything for free at the end of the day. You know, and it's very hard to find someone that does anything for free. And the people that do it for free, they already have their own established business and they're making enough money, so they're actually contributing their time because they already have a successful business behind them. But most of the people are just workers, you know. So it's the same thing. It's workers work. You get paid for it.
Right.
You know, it's a job. It's a job. I mean, it's a living and it's a lifestyle and it's a culture and it's a vision. But it does require cash. I mean, at the end of the day, since when are we going to defeat the globalists and then suddenly we're not going to have any money? Right? Since when are we, and suddenly we're not going to have any bills to pay? Right? So we're going to defeat all the globalists and we're going to get everything for free. Doesn't that sound a lot like socialism and communism? Doesn't it sound exactly what they're going? No, we still have to pay bills. We still have to we still have to, homeschool the kids or buy textbooks or whatever. We still have to pay the electricity bill. We still have to do this. We still have to do that. We still have to do these things. You know, and people just have to come to the reality, face the reality that it's not all done for free. And if you're gonna make like big gains in the movement, then you've got to treat it professionally, and it can't be just a hobby. It can't be a hobby. It has to be a big thing.
Hey, Jason, there's somebody, Karen, right? Karen here would like to read a poem, if that's okay.
Oh, yes, that's okay. That was the second poem for today.
All right. So, yeah.
This is a poem by Margaret Anna Alice, and it's called Mistakes Were Not Made, an Anthem for Justice. The Armenian genocide was not a mistake. Holodomor was not a mistake. The final solution was not a mistake. The Great Leap Forward was not a mistake. Name your genocide. The killings fields were not a mistake. It was not a mistake. That includes the Great Democide of the 2020s. To imply otherwise is to give them the out they are seeking. It was not botched, bungled, a blunder, incompetence, lack of knowledge, spontaneous mass hysteria. The planning occurred in plain sight. The planning is still occurring in plain sight. The philanthropaths bought the science. The modelers projected the lies. The testers concocted the crisis. The NGOs fleeced the academics. The scientists fabricated the findings. The mouthpieces spewed the talking points. The organizations declared the emergency. The governments erected the walls. The departments rewrote the rules. Governors quashed the rights. Politicians passed the laws. The bankers installed the control grid. The stooges laundered the money. The DOD, Department of Defense, placed the orders. The corporations fulfilled the contracts. The regulators approved the solution. The laws shielded the contracts. The agencies ignored the signals. The behemoths consolidated the media. The psychologists crafted the messaging. The propagandists chanted the slogans. The fact chokers smeared the dissidents. The censors silenced the questioners. The jackboots stomped the dissenters. The tyrants summoned. The puppeteers jerked. The puppets danced. The colluders implemented. The doctors ordered. The hospitals administered. The menticiders scripted. The bamboozled bleated. The totalitarianized bullied. The COVIDians tattled. The parents surrendered. The good citizens believed and forgot. This was calculated. This was formulated. This was focus grouped. This was articulated. This was manufactured. This was falsified. This was coerced. This was inflicted. This was denied. We were terrorized. We were isolated. We were gaslit. We were dehumanized. We were wounded. We were killed. Don't let them get away with it.
That was amazing. Thank
That was
you.
beautiful.
Woohoo.
That was beautiful.
That was, oh man,
Yeah.
second time comes today. That's wonderful. Oh,
And it was
wow.
very industrial as well. It was like industrial poetry.
It's incredible. Well, yeah, I'm like totally got goosebumps. That was absolutely incredible because it's so outlined. So how many levels of that twisted tiramisu? Wow. Yeah, when you break it down like that, there's nothing you left out. That was incredible. Wow. Yeah, oh, there's another bug on me. We got a long way to go, but wow, when it's broken down like that, that's
That was pretty wow.
they pumped a lot of money into making this happen.
Oh
So,
yeah, they pumped billions into it. I mean, and they made billions as well.
Oh yeah.
They took entire nations to the brink of collapse.
Yeah.
And then they pocketed all the profits from you staying at home and destroying all the small companies, and the billionaires just got 20 times richer, you know.
Yep, the greatest redistribution of wealth in history. That was No, I should probably get going though, Jason. My battery's is slowly depleting.
Yeah,
I've got a battery pack here, but it's apparently it's not very powerful. It's just a little tiny, it looks like a lipstick almost. But I want to use whatever's left on the battery pack to go around and take some photos and maybe some video, because I like to post it like Monica Smith mentioned on our show the other night.
Yep.
It's there's going to be a place for you to put photos and video. If you go to the www.weareready.world, if you go to their website, they're going to have, she said they're going to have a spot there so that you can post pictures and video of the events that you've gone to in your hometown or anywhere around.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants or has some photos of any events that they were part of today, I'm going to go around and take some more pictures. There's still a bit of a crowd here, and yeah, I'd like to make sure I have something to submit. I've spent all this whole time hanging out with you, Jason, and I no regrets whatsoever, but I think I'm at like maybe 20% battery right now, and the last little bit goes really fast. It's an older phone.
It does. Yeah, that's okay. I'm supposed to have Garrett from Alaska coming on, but you know, the whole thing of being thrown off, I've already sent him like 2 or 3 changes, and I'm sort of I'm supposed to have Alaska and then Peru. I've sent them a new update, but they could already be on the road. They probably, who knows how this next part's going to go. But I've got to end the stream here, everybody, because I've been no, Monica hasn't been on yet. She got tied up, yeah, and anyway, we ended up with that was the mistake. We got the wrong feed from, we were given the wrong feed, and we showed the wrong feed. That's why it was so bad. And the real feed was actually on her Facebook, and we should have been screen capturing that. They're not getting that feed. But anyway, them's a break, and now everything's disappeared off the website. So yeah, day 2 turned out to be a bit of a fizzle. Day 1 was great. Day 2 is turning out to be a bit of a fizzle. But let's see. I've now open on. If you're still watching, I've got a new stream which is due to start now. It's called Stream Part 5 on my State of the Nation, and it's supposed to have Alaska in it, but who knows now? Everything's sort of gone into the wind, It's gone into the wind, and we don't really know what's going on anymore. Yeah, people are. Yeah, it's the first time we've done it, so next time we're going to have to check that. We're going to have to check everything. And make sure that people's events don't disappear just because the time zone changed, all the events were taken down, even though they hadn't started yet.
And then what happened on the website too? You know, maybe
That was
they'll.
it. That's what I mean. That's what I
Oh
mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
with the times. Yeah, that was
Yeah, the
a little
times
bit
don't change.
frustrating to try to find the location, but having it being
They're
said
all
like,
gone.
oh, past
They're
event
all
because
gone. Yeah.
yeah, it was on
Yeah.
Australia time. So anyway, thanks for having
All
me on
right.
the show, Ethan. And
Thank you.
we are many.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen,
We
for
are
joining us.
united. We are ready.
We are many. We are united, and we are ready.
We are ready. So
And
thank you so much.
You've been on Between Two Flags.
Between Two Flags.
Yeah, you've been on Between Two Flags on State of the Nation on We Are Ready all weekend live stream
Yep.
with Rosie
And
Convoy and State of the Nation.
on the chat too, and if you need some a hand on the panel, I'll you know, when I'm finished up here and I get home and you just want some company on the panel, you kind of invited me to do that last night, but it was getting pretty late at night and I knew I had to sleep. So, but yeah, just
you didn't miss anything because it was all just streaming. It was all just streaming. There were no interviews. It was all just stream. The German thing, and then the Netherlands event, and then the Lisbon event. There was no interview at all, so you didn't miss anything. Yeah.
Well,
so
on that note, yeah, you take care. Everybody take care. Proud to represent Canada on this incredible event that you've this stream that you've started here, Jason. It's you're doing a phenomenal job. You, sir, are a machine. And I
machine. Yeah, it's been 21 and a half, 20 hours and a half, 21 and a half hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's starting to show.
I started at 7 o'clock, and it's nearly 4 o'clock, so it's 3.5. It's 3.5. It's 20 and a half hours so far. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to play my outro, my fancy outro. Yeah, keep on trucking, everyone. Honk, honk, freedom. Freedom, freedom. Lots of love from We Are Ready on its way. You take care, Rubber Ducky. You too, Teddy Bear. Honk, honk. Honk, honk, freedom. All right, take care.
With this feeling, I can leave.
Oh, good sound.
I'm working and I'm dreaming. Will you dare to give it all up and walk by my side?
Yep, I'm checking out, folks. Take a look at the stream number 5. Hopefully they get my message in time, and Alaska will come and Peru will come. Let's hope. But I'm just going to switch over to restream now, over to stream 5.
Just getting me aboard.
Never before has the world been so aware of people and organizations trying to usher in a one world government, where foreign billionaires control everything we do. We have a message for you power-hungry globalists. You overplayed your hand. We see you. We know your plans. And guess what?
We are many. We are united. We are ready. See you 2020.
On that weekend,
On that weekend, we lagged on the internet and lost our audio. Oh my.
in just 3 years, billions of innocent people were put on house arrest, stripped of their human rights, bombarded with repetitive fear propaganda, forced to choose between their job and trial drugs, cancelled, silenced, and bullied for asking questions. Now, in 2023, We're dealing with inflation we can't afford, rising energy prices, climate change propaganda, cancel culture and division, intrusive surveillance, and increasing death rates. You can threaten us as much as you want, but we have this message for you. We are many, we are united, and we are ready. Enough is enough. We are no longer afraid of you and your evil plans. So bring it on. Any group or person can host one of these events in their city. You can also help us spread the word or check to see if there's already an event in your area. Head to www.weareready.world for all the info.
Just get